Satori. I think about doing this all the time, and it's so difficult because there's so many things I want to say, and because of the vulnerability. It's hard because it's like sharing myself to the world. It's like having a heart-to-heart conversation with you in front of everybody, you know? So obviously that's not, it's not so easy to always open up. So what have I been doing? What is it that's happened? Well, I consider myself a light warrior, ascended master, someone who came here, who's awake and aware of his existence in eternity, and volunteered to come here to help inspire people to dive into their soul and the connection to divinity. Instead of just preaching peace and love and, you know, wanting to be against war, it's like, okay, well, what are you gonna do about it, right? Well, my test comes in ways like that. Once you raise your vibration, so the more light you obtain, the closer you are to the light, the more the darkness is there. It's like a yin-yang process. So if you're going through cleansings or something that's going to raise your vibration and bring more light to your life, cleanse your body out. So within that, to try to understand what I feel like has happened, let's look at it like this. So I set myself out to help make the world a better place, and in that started acting that out and created light. Darkness came to try to stop that because it's a process. That's their game. That's their job. In a war, in a spiritual battle, it's like me as a warrior, they came and took my daughter from me. To do two things. First of all, to hobble me, emasculate me, take away my synergy to the divine, make me feel like a piece of and can't mobilize and do what I need to do to be the good father, to be a good man, and to revolt against the oppression. So, what happened to me is this. So, you take my daughter from me, then I feel broken, and I don't be as empowered as a man as I could be. Secondly, I get put to my test on a spiritual level. Are you peaceful? Are you chill? Are you cool? What are you really, dude? So it's like this. You know what? I believe if you hurt someone's parents, that's disrespectful. That's someone's family. You don't hurt people's parents. If you love somebody, if you care somebody, you don't mess with their family. So what happened? Could I fight for you? I stood true to the test of peace. I did not fight your mom or your stepdad. I stayed true to my integrity, to my strength, to what I am as a man, which is you don't hurt people's parents. That's disrespectful. I ain't gonna go to my daughter and try to hurt her mom in court, because that's hurting my daughter. We're supposed to honor our parents, and if we're not honoring our kids as parents, how are we showing that value at all? Hang in there, baby girl. It's not your fault. It's never been your fault. How could it be your fault? You were a little baby when this started happening. You're just a little bitty kid. It's funny how we think that we are to blame for the things that happen with our parents. Trust me, we did not start the fire. I have all the responsibility as any human could have, and we still can say that, guess what, there was things that I wasn't able to control, just like those things in your life you're not able to control, just like in my father and my mother's life, there were things they couldn't control, and it's like it's generational. It's been going on for a long time, and the best that we can do is to steer the whole direction that we have in our lives just a little bit better in the right directions, and forgive ourselves, forgive those that are our parents who up, because we all do the best that we can. So there's things that I think about all the time that I really want you to know, and one of them happened when you were a baby, before you were one, and we were living in Denver, and I met someone that gave me a past life regression, which is basically a meditation, a guided meditation, and the significance of that experience, I guess, didn't sink in for a long, long, long time. Probably in the last 5 years, 10 years, it's really started to solidify into something significant that's very important for me and you to understand about our lineage and about our relationships with our fathers. So I remember being, it was in the 1800s, and in this past life regression, or in this memory of a past life, I just remember this end part of it where I was with my father in a piece of property off in the country, and I knew I was a really beautiful, really smart woman, and I wanted to go to the city and I wanted to make something of myself. And there was this period of where I couldn't leave the farm because my dad couldn't handle it alone, and so I spent sort of my best years in this small town and the farm, and then finally when he passed away I was able to sell the property, move to the city, but I was already past sort of like the prime of my life, and I ended up very much resenting my father, resenting family for tying me down so much I wasn't able to fulfill my dreams and my mission in that lifetime. And now I understand, because of that realization and much meditation and different things through the years, when you think about my story, in which I was born from a one-night stand, I didn't meet my real father until I was 22 years old. I still wanted to meet him past my becoming an adult, 18, 19, 20, and so I sent him a letter and we met, and it was cool. And even, we were able to meet all together with you, Satori. You've met your grandfather, and me personally, still to this time, we've only hung out a few times, and I've gotten no pressure from him necessarily. I've got no advice, we have very little conversations, although the fact that he doesn't want to talk to me because of my lifestyle or the way I live my life that he thinks, the way he thinks I live my life. But anyway, instead of being a victim of this, instead of, like I have been most of my life, it's very difficult to grow up without a father or just with your stepdad around me. Instead of being a victim to it or thinking that I was broken or wrong or ugly or something was my fault or something was wrong with me for it, I've come to realize that this is a deal that I made with my father. We made a soul contract on the other side that he would be fulfilling his role, which he's doing, and I'm doing what I'm doing, which is being free of any family restraints so that I can fulfill my mission here, which I have to be able to focus on my life and go far. And if I was attached to family ties, I wouldn't be able to travel as much or do what I'm doing. And what I am doing, by the way, is I gave my life up to God when I was really young. I did it when I was a teenager many times, actually. I really was drawn in the Christian faith, and I did it in my way, which, looking back, was a very young understanding, but very pure understanding of what Christ means. I got away from the church when I became 18, 19 years old, traveling, the New Age movement, the hippie movement, which is very beautiful and it is enlightening to an extent. It's all a beautiful, beautiful awakening. My point is that instead of going for material satisfaction or material gain, trying to impress the Joneses, trying to do what the world has told me to do to make as much money as I can and pay as much taxes as I can and just follow the status quo, I decided to live a different lifestyle, which is to say that I went for experience. I feel that I'm a minimalist, an entrepreneur. I would rather work for myself, and I'd rather have a low overhead, even an emotional low overhead, which means that I don't emotionally need a lot as long as I got something like this. This is beautiful to me. I can watch movies, I get to do my art whenever I want. I've got my Mr. Heater here, got my fan here, take it anywhere. It's just like having your bedroom everywhere, and that's how I think about this. This is my father's house, by the way, the earth. Like, I've never been homeless or houseless, or people call me a nomad or a vagabond, or whatever you want to call people who backpack and cruise around and camp where they can and stay where they can and just keep traveling and stuff. It's a beautiful, beautiful, rich life, and this is my father's house. And because it's my father's house, the whole thing is my house. This is a room, that's a room, everywhere you go is home. I'm a poster kid of faith. I believe if you live in virtue, if you live in trust and faith, and you might have to sacrifice things that you want, comforts or fun or different things that you thirst for, ache for, those things can come to you in righteous ways. You can get your drink on in a righteous way. You can get date the right person, hook up in the right way, and it's beautiful, an expression, and it's a balance to our bodies without having to be low life about it. And that's all I got to say.